I think that in this age of positivity, it's really great for us to all imagine the possibilities of what we can achieve or who we wish to be. The problem with this way of thinking is that we really tend to think in terms of nebulous concepts like I want to be more successful or I want to be a better athlete. But in order to achieve these monumental tasks, I think we really have to start thinking of the specifics, and we begin by eliminating bad habits that ultimately prevent us from ever reaching our goals. Olympians tend to follow several basic principles that allow them to simplify their lives and really excel. So starting with number 5, don't overcommit. If you want to get into shape, for example, you start simple and you gradually increase from there. You don't want to feel overwhelmed and overburdened from the outset. The key to success is to really just make it habitual. Make it something that you say, okay, every day after work, I'm going to go for half an hour or half an hour 3 times a week, and you build from there. It's really better to hit smaller home runs. That will give you a sense of pride and satisfaction and ultimately improve your performance. Number 4, don't overthink. In this day of technology, we really tend to focus on things that are measurable, things like steps that we've walked or calories burned or heart rate. And in doing so, you can really drive yourself crazy and lose sight of the goal of living your best life. Instead, it's better to see the big picture, keep your goal in mind, but have fun with it. Allow your creativity and passion to really come through. Number 3, don't over-restrict. So if you're trying to improve your diet, for example, overly restricting yourself will lead to feelings of deprivation and defiance. For example, when I went to Iceland, we went to this farmhouse where we were told that this was Iceland's best lamb stew. And even though I was plant-based, I was thinking to myself, when am I ever going to be in Iceland again at this farmhouse? And so I had a bowl of the lamb stew, and I paid for it because my belly's not really used to meat anymore. But, it's one of those things I allow myself, that when I'm in a specific situation, I'm going to allow myself those liberties because I don't want to drive myself crazy. You just don't want to make that habitual. Okay. So number 2, Olympians always, they emphasize not dwelling on the negative. So that's number 2. Don't dwell on the negative. Things don't always go our way. It's just life. But focusing on a bad outcome, feeling sorry for yourself, ruminating about what could have been or should have happened, these things carry a lot of psychological weight. They're emotionally draining, and ultimately the outcome can't be changed. Instead, make room in your life for things like constructive things, positive things like gratitude, self-confidence, and rededication to purpose. This speaks to emotional resilience and the ability to come back stronger. This is one of the true hallmarks of what makes an Olympian. And then finally, number 1, we touched upon this earlier, pivot. Perhaps no attribute is more characteristic of an Olympian than their ability to make rapid, decisive changes for the better. The typical athletic career of an Olympian is finite and it's short. And as such, the ability to pivot for them is almost of necessity in order for them to be successful. A lot goes into this, though, the ability to pivot. Dedication, resolve, strength of character. This speaks to why Olympians are who they are. This itself is a huge topic, but really one of great interest to me, as those at the highest levels of sport and business and academia, you name it, they all seem to share the same capacity to shed undesirable habits in favor of those that allow them to succeed.